Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! I have been a little bit MIA. It's been a busy couple of months over here with the move and everything else, but I've actually dug up an old video of mine that I did about 2 months ago. I know, how crazy is that I haven't still gotten around to editing it, but here I am. I'm doing it now and I'm very excited to share it with you because it's very special and near and dear to my heart. It is my morning routine with my two little munchkins, and I filmed this right before Adriana turned 2, so this is my morning routine with 2 under 2. So our morning would start with me bringing Adriana into our bed, and back where we were living in our old house, Andres were sleeping, sharing the room with us in his bassinet. So I would bring him into the bed when he would be awake, and then I would go and get Adriana and bring her into the bed when she would wake up, and we could kind of just connect for a minute, have some water, just chat for a second, and then she would just hang out in bed while I would nurse the baby. So once Andreas is done nursing, then I get up with him and change his diaper, change his outfit, and get him ready for the day. And while I do that, then Adriana usually would either hang out with me, or on this particular day she decided to go downstairs and hang out with Demetri while he was getting ready for work. And here you see him come up and give us a kiss goodbye before he left for work, and Adriana came back upstairs and started to just sort of hang out there and play dress up with my stuff out of my closet. You can see her there with my shoes and my pants, and yeah, she's just silly like that. So after Andres is done and ready, then we move on to Adriana's room, and here I just kind of place him there so he can see us. And while I get her ready, I have her outfit set up and ready to go. So then I will change her diaper and get her out of her pajamas, and then get her dressed and ready for the day as well. So once she's dressed, then we're ready to move on to the bathroom and do our routine there. So I put Andres on his back just so that he's more safe and comfortable, and then Adriana and I go on to the bathroom. So now we're in the bathroom and it's time for our morning routine there. I will get her ready, wash her face, brush her teeth, get her hair brushed and all that. And this is such a special time for me because she's my little girl and she's growing up so fast, and I just absolutely love and cherish these moments with her that I get to share every morning. We'll just sort of chat a little bit, and she will usually bring one of her toys with her to get them ready as well. While I get her ready, she'll pretend to brush their hair or brush their teeth. In this case, she's got this sweet little bear that was actually Demetri's toy when he was a baby or a little boy, so it's very special that now she gets to play with this bear, and then eventually I'm sure Andres will be as well. So yeah, here you can see her brushing the bear's teeth and all that, and yeah, I just really love that special time with her and doing her hair and all that. So I'm sure that as she grows up, watching this back will be very sentimental and emotional for me as the years go by. So once she's completely ready, then we are back in the master bedroom, and I just absolutely have to make the bed. My day absolutely cannot start unless the bed is made, and yeah, I can't imagine not making my bed. So I put him in the bassinet, Andreas, so he can hang out, and Adriana's just sort of hanging out there as well, and Moshki's there too. So Adriana's favorite things to play with are actually not toys, but things that are just like in and around the house. Here she was just sort of fascinated with the magnifying mirror and just sat there for a few minutes playing with that. And her other favorite thing to do, I keep a Swiffer duster in the closet, and she usually will just like pull it out and start to pretend that she's cleaning the floors and helping me, and she's actually really good. I told her there, you gotta go underneath the bed, because that's where all the dust is. So that's where you see her trying to go under the bed and make sure that everything is clean. She's such a funny little girl. Yeah, she makes me crack up every day. So at this point, I'm dressed and I put Andres in tummy time so he can do a little bit of morning exercise with some toys, and he just will usually hangs out there. He will hang out there for a few minutes. He's not a fan of tummy time at this point, but he can do it for a couple of minutes without fussing, which is just enough time for me to get myself ready in the bathroom as well. So when I'm actually ready to come into the bathroom, Adriana usually joins me and she kind of sits there and watches me while I wash my face, brush my teeth, and put on my lotion and all that. And I think that's how she makes sense of her world and learns about how to do it properly. And also I think it's such a great way to instill good habits, and proper hygiene is obviously you set the example. They see you do it and then that's how they learn good habits. So once we're all dressed and ready, we're finally ready to come downstairs. And the first thing we do is we go obviously to the kitchen because it's breakfast time, and it takes a bit of time to prepare it. So in order for her to not be too hungry while she waits for breakfast, I'll usually give her a snack and some lemon water while I prepare her breakfast. So in this case, I gave her a banana, and then I will get Andres in his bouncer and get started on her breakfast. So when I was filming this video, Andres was just under 4 months, and he would be okay to hang out in this rocker bouncer while he watched Adriana and I for just enough time, or roughly about enough time, while I would prepare her breakfast and before it would be time for his next nap. Adriana usually loves to be involved in the preparation of her breakfast or just any really kitchen activities. So here as well, I'll get her learning tower, and it is just the absolute best thing that we could have done to have her be in the kitchen, because she always wanted to see what I was doing. So Demetri actually built this, and if you want to know what it is or how to make it, it is called a learning tower, and there's a lot of different articles on how to make your own online. So just Google learning tower and you can either build it or have it built by somebody. And if you have a toddler who loves to be in the kitchen and is interested, this is by far the best thing that you could do for them, because they could be involved and they watch you and they feel like they're part of the whole action in the kitchen. So before we get started on Adriana's breakfast, we'll have our lemon water, and it's something that I've been doing for years and years and years, and I can't imagine starting my morning without. And she likes to have a little water with me as well, so we'll cheer there, and then we'll get started on her breakfast, which is some French toast today. So by this time, Andres was getting a little bit fussy and bored of sitting in his rocker bouncer, so I put him in the carrier so that he could be part of the action of preparing Adriana's breakfast. So we're making the French toast like I mentioned. So it's very simple, just an egg, a little bit of cinnamon, almond milk, just whisk it together and fry it on your choice of oil. So I like to use avocado oil when I do some frying. And yeah, as you can tell here, Adriana loves to help with pretty much everything and anything in the kitchen, and she just is very passionate about food. She always has been. So I try and teach her or let her help me with as much as I can. And I think that she enjoys food more when she's part of the preparation process as well. So once the French toast is ready, I will drizzle a little bit of maple syrup over it, and I would just sort of chop it up into bite-sized pieces for Adriana to enjoy. And then Andres and I will also join her while she has her breakfast. So once Adriana is done her breakfast, it's time for Andres' first nap. So we're back upstairs. I'm going to change his diaper and get him ready to go down for his first nap. And part of the teaching him how to learn to sleep better, since he wasn't a very good sleeper from day one, is dimming or making sure that the room is dark. So I put down the blinds and close the curtains, and then I will kind of sing a little lullaby and then put him down in the bassinet, in his bassinet. And it's different now since it's been 2 months since I filmed this video, but at that point I had a little routine of sort of putting him down and then tapping him or patting him to sleep, and that was part of the sleep training technique that I was using at that time working with a sleep trainer. So he was on his side using a wedge, and then I would just kind of lean over him and pat his shoulder and then kind of do a little shushing sound while he would go down. And at this point, at 4 months, he was already getting much better than when we started. So he was learning how to fall asleep on his own, which is so useful and so helpful. So after just a few minutes, he is fast asleep, and at that point, that was just such a huge accomplishment for me because I was right in the midst of sleep training. So I was very proud of him and very happy of my efforts and not giving up on him learning how to sleep better. So once Andreas is asleep, we come back downstairs, and while Adriana plays in the living room, I will get the kitchen cleaned up and wash the dishes. So at this point, his naps were still quite short in that they were about one cycle, 35-40 minutes or so. So once the kitchen was clean, we came back upstairs and I wanted to do my makeup. And Adriana is really good at being very quiet. She understands that when he sleeps, for her to be quiet and not to disturb him. So to keep her occupied and quiet, I would just give her my phone so she can play on some apps and stuff like that while I do my makeup for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then right when I was finishing with my makeup, he actually woke up from his nap. So once Andreas woke up from his nap, I decided to go to Costco real quickly before it was time for his next nap. I normally try not to go out with them to do long errands, but it's nearby and we need a couple things, so I thought it would be a good outing just to take them out of the house and myself as well. So here we are heading to Costco. So one of the tricks of keeping a toddler happy while you shop, as I'm sure any mom would attest to, is having some snacks around. So Adriana's snacking on some apple chips, and Andreas here is in his Binksy baby. It's like a shopping cart hammock for newborns and infants, and he's too big for it now, but back then it was such a lifesaver when you would go shopping because the car seat, trying to carry him, and the car seat is number one heavy, and it's just so bulky and takes up pretty much the whole entire cart and leaves very little room for shopping. So I really enjoyed using that product while he was little. So I would definitely recommend for you guys to check it out if you have an infant or one on the way. And before we head out of Costco, I usually love to grab some flowers as well, and we are out. And one of Adriana's favorite thing of going to Costco is waiting for, at the end, if you've ever shopped at Costco, you know the greeters will check your receipt. And I don't know if it's something that they tell all their employees to do, but usually if she's with me, they will draw a smiley face at the back of the receipt, and she absolutely loves that and always looks forward to that. And you can see here she's waiting and looking at the receipt and waiting for that smiley face. So that's really cute, and yeah, one of her favorite things about going to Costco. So once we got back home, it was time for Andreas's next feeding. So while I nursed him, I would just kind of get down on the ground. I usually like to do that so that we're all together, and also Adriana doesn't feel left out while I'm, sort of feeding the baby and giving him that attention. I can also be part of her play as well, and she loves playing with this doctor set or her ball or any of her toys really. And yeah, Zizu came over as well to play with us for a bit, and this is now coming up for both of their nap time. So before putting him to sleep, he has a good feeding and then he's ready to go down. So now we're all upstairs and it's time for both of them to go down for a nap. So before I do that, I usually love to read a little story, and sometimes he's ready to sleep before he can join us for a story time, but this time around he was okay, so I got to read to them both at the same time, which I absolutely love doing. It's one of my favorite activities to do, is to read to Adriana, and now that Andres is here, love to read to him or to them together is even more fun. And Adriana's favorite book right now or cartoon is Peppa Pig, and so here she chose this book that she absolutely loves, Peppa Stories, and I really like Peppa Stories as well. They're fun, they're simple, and the fact that she loves them so much makes it that much more enjoyable for me to read to her. So once story time is over, it's time for both of them to go down for their naps. So I change them into their pajamas and get them both ready for their sleep. So Adriana will cuddle her bear, big brown bear, and all her stuffed animals and Peppa Pig, of course. And then I'll put Andres to sleep as well. And that pretty much concludes my morning routine with 2 under 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye!